Welcome to today's video, where we take a closer look at the USA Lincoln Wheat Cent, a classic piece of American history that continues to capture the interest of collectors everywhere. This coin holds its own unique story, rich in design, heritage, and value, making it a fascinating highlight for anyone who enjoys exploring rare and meaningful treasures from the past. Coin number 1. The 1930 Lincoln Wheat Cent has become one of the most admired pieces in early 20th century American numismatics because of its balanced mix of historical charm, strong collector demand, and rising market visibility. Collectors appreciate this coin for the way it captures an important era in U.S. minting, while still offering a manageable challenge for those looking to build a high-quality wheat cent collection. Its appeal has grown steadily as more hobbyists realize how few superior examples remain, especially those struck sharply at the Denver Mint during a time of economic uncertainty. Minted at the height of the pre-Depression economic shift, the 1930 cent reflects a period when the U.S. Mint was producing fewer coins in response to shrinking national commerce. This Denver issue carries the legacy of a mint known for strong, bold strikes, yet it still faced the financial turbulence of the late 1920s and early 1930s. The Wheat Cent series itself was already a classic by this time, serving as the nation's everyday coin while representing the lasting influence of Abraham Lincoln's leadership. The 1930 specifically helps mark the transition between the prosperity of the 1920s and the tougher years that followed, making it a historically meaningful entry in the series. Its design, like others in the series, continues Victor David Brenner's artistic vision, but many collectors find the 1930 particularly crisp in detail when found in high grades. The obverse features Lincoln's portrait with carefully formed lettering that stands out sharply on well-preserved pieces. The reverse displays the iconic wheat ears framing 1 cent, with the spacing, grain texture, and border lines offering easy ways to judge strike quality. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin maintains the traditional wheat cent appearance, with a size of 19 and a weight of 3.11 grams. Strong luster and clean surfaces can make this Denver strike especially attractive compared to other mints from the same era. The rarity of the 1930 becomes clear when considering how few high-grade coins were set aside during the early 1930s. While the mintage was moderate, circulation was heavy, meaning that most examples suffered wear long before collecting became widespread. Uncirculated pieces are far scarcer than their mintage might suggest, and those showing full wheat lines or original red coloration are even harder to locate. A small number of minor die variations exist, and specialists often seek coins with particularly crisp strikes or minimal marks, which dramatically increases competition for the best examples. When it comes to market value, premium-grade certified coins can reach impressive numbers, with attractive pieces often bringing around $3,800 in today's market. Exceptional examples graded at the highest levels, especially those showing rich original luster and sharp details, can approach the mid-$5,000 range, depending on auction demand and collector competition. Price trends continue to rise slowly, especially for red or red-brown certified coins, and their performance at auctions suggests steady appreciation as fewer high-quality coins become available. Collectors looking to secure a strong example of the 1930 wheat cent should pay close attention to strike sharpness, the presence of clean wheat lines, and consistent color. Certification from trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC is highly recommended, as many circulated pieces show subtle cleaning or surface issues. Proper storage in airtight, archival safe holders will help preserve color and prevent further oxidation. Most collectors find their best chances through reputable dealers, established numismatic shows, and well-reviewed online auctions where certified coins are listed with detailed images. In numismatic circles, This coin continues to stand out because it offers a blend of affordability, scarcity, and historical intrigue that appeals to both new and experienced collectors. Its rich copper tone, classic wheat cent design, and connection to a challenging economic period give it lasting depth and character. While the finest pieces command strong prices, the demand remains steady, and long-term interest suggests that quality examples will continue to grow in desirability. As a result, the 1930 Lincoln wheat cent maintains its reputation as a remarkable collector's item, one that represents America's history, showcases Brenner's enduring design, and still offers strong potential for appreciation among carefully selected specimens. Its limited supply of well-preserved coins ensures ongoing competition, making it a rewarding pursuit for anyone passionate about building a meaningful and valuable wheat cent collection. Coin number 2. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent is a coin of fascinating duality. Common in circulated grades, it transforms into a numismatic treasure in unmatched mint state condition, with specimens graded MS-68 achieving remarkable five-figure prices at auction. Its journey from a Depression-era workhorse to a premier collectible encapsulates the core principles of coin collecting, where survival in pristine condition, not just original mintage, dictates ultimate value. Minted in 1937 at the Denver Mint, this coin emerged during a period of cautious economic recovery. The D mint mark situates its origin in the Denver, Colorado facility, which played a crucial role in producing coinage for the nation's commerce. With a substantial mintage of 50,430,000 pieces, the 1937 D was never intended to be rare, and it fulfilled its role as a circulating medium effectively. Its true significance for collectors, however, lies in its place within the wheat cent series, which was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Bearing the iconic design by Victor David Brenner, the 1937 D issue represents one of the last years of the classic pre-World War II copper alloy composition, before the wartime emergency would lead to zinc-coated steel cents in 1943. The 1937 D wheat penny adheres to the standard design that had become familiar to Americans, but high-grade examples reveal the full artistry of the coin. The obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1937 to the right. The critical mint mark D is located clearly beneath the date, confirming its Denver origin. The reverse displays the two iconic wheat stalks framing the denominations, 1 cent, and United States of America. A fully struck, uncirculated example showcases fine details often missing on worn coins, such as the sharp lines in Lincoln's hair and coat, and the distinct kernels on the wheat ears. The coin's physical specifications are standard for the era: a 95% copper composition with 5% tin and zinc, a weight of 3.11 grams, and a diameter of 19 millimeters. For the 1937 D, rarity is almost exclusively a function of condition. While over 50 million were struck, the vast majority entered circulation and were worn down through daily use. Survivors in high grades are exceptionally scarce. Numismatic consensus holds that while examples in grades up to MS-65 are obtainable, the population drops dramatically for gems graded MS-66 and higher. The pinnacle of preservation, represented by coins graded MS-68, is where this issue becomes a great rarity. The Professional Numismatic Service (NGC) has recorded prices realized of $17,250 for such a coin, underscoring the extreme premium commanded by flawless survival. For most collectors, a specimen graded MS-63 to MS-65 represents a high-quality example of this issue, offering a clear view of the original mint luster and design details without the prohibitive cost of the top-tier gems. The value of a 1937 D wheat penny is a story of two worlds, entirely dependent on its state of preservation. In worn, circulated condition, its value is modest, typically ranging from a few cents to under $1. However, the market for uncirculated examples tells a different story. The value escalates dramatically with each incremental step up the grading scale. An example graded MS-63 might be valued around $800, while an MS-65 can command approximately $1,700. The investment-grade territory begins at MS-66 and above, where values leap into the hundreds of dollars. As previously noted, the summit of the market is occupied by the finest known examples, with the auction record standing at $17,250 for an MS-68 specimen. This staggering figure highlights the intense competition among advanced collectors for the single finest example of a coin that was mass-produced. Pursuing a high-grade 1937 D wheat penny requires a discerning eye and strategic approach. First, condition is paramount. When examining a coin, look for full mint luster and sharp details on the high points of the design, particularly Lincoln's cheekbone, the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the legend Liberty. Second, professional certification is essential for valuable coins. Purchasing examples that have been graded, encapsulated, and authenticated by leading services like NGC or PCGS provides assurance of authenticity and condition, which is crucial for both insurance and eventual resale. Third, focus on eye appeal. A coin with attractive, original surfaces, whether it retains its reddish-red color or has toned to elegant brown, with minimal contact marks will always be more desirable. Finally, acquire coins from reputable sources, such as established numismatic dealers or major auction houses, to ensure a fair transaction. The 1937 D Lincoln wheat cent's enduring appeal lies in its perfect illustration of a core numismatic truth. Historic mintages are common, but perfection is not. It offers every collector a point of entry, from the beginner content with a circulated piece of history to the advanced specialist competing for a condition rarity masterpiece. A high-grade example is not merely a coin, but a perfectly preserved artifact from a defining era in American history, representing both a sound, tangible asset and a cornerstone of any Lincoln cent collection. Coin number 3. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent has earned a respected place among collectors because it blends historical charm, strong mint identity, and real scarcity when found in collectible form, especially in very dirty and heavily aged condition. Even when a piece looks rough at first glance, the underlying details of this San Francisco strike still hold remarkable value, and that is why this coin continues to attract collectors who appreciate originality, authenticity, and the story of survival behind every worn example. The coin carries the character of its era and remains a meaningful addition to any wheat cent collection, whether the collector focuses on rarity, history, or long-term desirability. The coin comes from a period when the United States was still working through the effects of the Great Depression, and the San Francisco Mint was producing coins with a measured mintage compared to other years. The steady economic recovery meant that coins were used constantly, leaving very few uncirculated pieces preserved by the public. The 1937 issue reflects this moment in American life, when every penny mattered and most went directly into commerce. The San Francisco Mint was known for careful workmanship, but even so, most coins from this year saw years of use, and the surviving pieces today represent a connection to the working-class era that shaped American coinage culture. The design remains Victor David Brenner's timeless portrayal of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the portrait holding surprisingly sharp definition even on worn or dirty examples. Subtle details such as the curve of Lincoln's coat or the spacing between Liberty and the date can still be identified when examined closely. On the reverse, the classic wheat stalks frame the denomination in a simple yet powerful design that symbolizes American agriculture and growth. even when covered in dirt or tarnish. The structure of the wheat lines, the placement of the lettering, and the bold 1 cent often remain visible enough to show the strength of the San Francisco strike. Made from 95% copper, the coin carries the warm tone associated with early wheat cents, and this metallic stability allows even heavily used coins to maintain their identity decades later. The rarity of the 1937s becomes more noticeable when collectors search for coins that still show enough detail to be properly graded or authenticated. While the mintage was not extremely low, survival in quality condition is significantly limited because few people saved these pennies when they were new. Very dirty examples are common, but ones that retain strong definition beneath the surface grime are much harder to find. The combination of wear, discoloration, and circulation marks makes high-grade survivors especially scarce, and even mid-grade uncleaned pieces are harder to locate than most other wheat cents from the 1930s. Collector demand for the 1937s wheat cent has grown because the coin offers both affordability and genuine rarity at the same time. The San Francisco Mint has always held a special place in the wheat cent series, and this issue stands out because it represents one of the more desirable later 30s dates for long-term collectors. People appreciate the mix of history, design purity, and the challenge of locating strong examples. These factors combined make the 1937s a standout date, especially for collectors building complete Lincoln cent sets or searching for coins that show the full story of circulation. When evaluating market value, the price depends heavily on how well the coin has survived beneath the dirt and aging. A solid example with clear details can bring around $2,900 today, even if the coin has surface grime or discoloration. Stronger pieces with cleaner lines and more original copper tone beneath the dirt can rise toward the $5,800 range, especially when certified by a reliable grading service. Well-preserved coins with full wheat lines or consistent color can exceed those amounts, with the highest figures going to coins that still show traces of original luster or strong strike definition. Market trends continue to favor the 1937s because supply remains limited and demand has been stable for years. Collectors searching for this date should focus on checking the strength of the reverse wheat lines, the clarity of Lincoln's hair and beard, and the consistency of the lettering around the rim. Certification from PCGS or NGC adds confidence and protects the value of the coin, especially for pieces that have unusual tunning or heavy dirt that might confuse beginners. Careful storage in airtight holders can preserve the remaining detail and prevent additional surface damage. Collectors often find solid examples through online auctions, coin shows, trusted dealers, or estate collections that still hold original wheat cents from circulation. In the end, the 1937s Lincoln wheat cent remains a meaningful and desirable coin because it represents the craftsmanship of the San Francisco Mint, the historical weight of its era, and the lasting appeal of the wheat cent design. Its combination of rarity, history, and collector interest ensures that it will continue to be a strong addition for both new and seasoned collectors. And as we move forward in this series, the next coin reveals an even deeper story that adds excitement and anticipation for anyone passionate about American numismatics. Coin number 4. Well, we are looking at a coin that on the surface seems utterly unremarkable, a common date Lincoln wheat cent coated in what can only be described as a century's worth of grime and environmental damage. But this is the ultimate lesson in not judging a book by its cover, because this particular 1939 cent is one of the great sleepers in all of American numismatics. While millions upon millions of these pennies were struck, a tiny, almost invisible detail on a handful of them creates a coin that is the holy grail for Lincoln cent specialists. We are of course talking about the 1939 double die obverse, a coin where the hub that impresses the design into the working die was misaligned between impressions, resulting in a dramatic, visible doubling across the entire obverse lettering and date. This isn't postment damage or machine doubling. This is a true, collectible error of the highest order, and even in a heavily circulated, dirty state like this, it commands a staggering amount of money. The year 1939 was a period of transition, both for the nation and for the mint. The Great Depression was slowly receding, and the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints were operating at high capacity to produce coinage for a recovering economy. It was also the final year of the relatively simple Lincoln wheat reverse design before the addition of the S mint mark to denote San Francisco coins moved below the date on the reverse in 1940. This bustling minting environment is precisely where mistakes could and did happen. The creation of a doubled die was a multi-step process. A working hub, which is like a stamp of the coin's design, was pressed into a working die multiple times to fully bring up the design. If the hub was not perfectly aligned between one of these impressions, the result was a doubling effect that was then transferred to every single coin struck from that defective die. For the 1939 doubled die obverse, this error was caught and the die pulled from production very quickly, but not before a small number of these dramatic error coins entered circulation. The design details are where this coin truly tells its story. On the obverse, you must look past the dirt and focus on the inscriptions. The most prominent doubling is visible on the word Liberty, which appears boldly shadowed or even tripled, especially on the letters B, and ERTY, the motto "In God We Trust," also shows clear doubling, particularly on the letters God and We. The date itself will have a distinct ghosting effect to the bottom and right of the primary numerals. This is not a subtle feature. It is a glaring, obvious error once you know what to look for. The reverse, the familiar wheat ears, is completely normal, as the error was isolated to the obverse die. This stark contrast between a perfectly normal reverse and a dramatically doubled obverse is a key identifier for the coin and adds to its unique character and appeal. When we talk about rarity and survival, the 1939 doubled die obverse is in a league of its own. While no exact mintage figures are known for error coins, experts estimate that only a few thousand to perhaps 10,000 examples ever left the Philadelphia Mint before the error was discovered. Compare that to the hundreds of millions of regular 1939 cents produced, and you begin to understand the scale of its scarcity. Furthermore, the vast majority of these coins entered circulation and were spent as regular 1-cent pieces. They were subjected to decades of wear, spent in soda machines, tossed in jars, and exposed to the elements. Finding one in strictly uncirculated condition is a monumental task, with perhaps only a couple hundred surviving in that state. Consequently, a coin like the one we are examining, which is heavily worn and dirty, actually represents the typical survival story for this major variety. Its condition, while off-putting to the untrained eye, does nothing to diminish its profound numismatic significance. The collector demand for this coin is absolutely ferocious, and it stands out as the single most important variety in the entire Lincoln cent series, rivaled only by the 1909 SVDB and the 1955 doubled die. It is the cornerstone for any serious Lincoln wheat cent collection, and its status as a key date variety is unshakable. Error coin collectors also fiercely pursue it, as it is one of the classic and most visually striking doubled dies in all of 20th century U.S. coinage. This combination of demand from two powerful segments of the numismatic community ensures that any example that comes to market, regardless of condition, is met with intense bidding and a strong final price. It is not a coin that sits unsold. It is a coin that creates excitement whenever it appears. Now let's talk about the numbers. Because the value of this coin in today's market is what will truly shock people. For a problem-free example in a low grade like good to fine, with all the doubling clearly visible but with heavy wear, you are looking at a market value starting around $2,500 and easily climbing to over $4,000. As the condition improves slightly into the very fine to extremely fine range, the price jumps dramatically, with values ranging from $5,000 up to $7,500 or more. If you were to find one in a mint state, the prices are astronomical, soaring well into the five-figure and even six-figure territory for the finest known examples. The dirty, circulated coin we are discussing is not a cheap find. It is a major financial discovery, representing a piece of American numismatic history that is both rare and highly coveted. For collectors hopping to find one of these treasures, the strategy is simple yet daunting. You must look at every single 1939 cent you encounter, and you must be able to identify the doubling without hesitation. Focus on the condition of the coin's surfaces. While a coin in this state is never going to be pretty, you want to avoid those with deep gouges, holes, or bends that constitute problem coins, as these can diminish value. The color and luster are irrelevant here. It's all about the sharpness of the doubling and the amount of remaining detail in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears. Having a coin professionally certified by either PCGS or NGC is absolutely non-negotiable. This authenticates the variety, assesses the grade through the environmental damage, and encapsulates it, making it marketable and ensuring its value. Look through old rolls, inherited collections, and even coin jars, but always check the date and the lettering. In conclusion, the 1939 double-die obverse Lincoln cent is a numismatic legend. Its combination of a dramatic error, extreme rarity, and central importance to a massively popular coin series makes it an object of obsession for collectors. A coin like this, worn and dirty, is not a reject. It is a survivor. It represents a tangible piece of minting history, a mistake that slipped through the cracks and became one of the most famous and valuable coins of the 20th century. Its appeal is universal, offering both the thrill of the hunt to new collectors and the promise of a cornerstone acquisition for seasoned veterans. It is a coin that proves immense value and historical significance can lie beneath the most humble of exteriors. And speaking of coins with humble exteriors, just wait until we show you the next coin in our series. We will be examining another common-date wheat penny, one from the 1940s, that looks absolutely ordinary until you turn it over and spot a tiny, misplaced letter that transforms it from a 1-cent piece into a coin worth over $1,000. You will not want to miss it.